Goodness gracious. Hope you guys are keeping well. First of all, big shout out to one of the radio hosts in Kenya. One crazy. I think him and I have the same crazy creative brains. Antonio Soul. I can never say the name right, but you know yourself. I've just listened to your dedication. Of course, I'm in traffic driving home. Yes, unlike the rest of us, the rest of the world that shut their offices yesterday, was it on no last week? The rest of you who've been watching TV since last week, speculating on who is gonna be the president. Guys, trust you me, I am leaving. I am actually halfway driving from the office, and I just listened to Antonio Soul. He dedicated this song, Uptown Will, is it Funk You Up? Something like that. Yeah, I'll actually play it with a bit of videos that I want to post right after this video. But anyway, today I'll make it very short. I have a very strong message. For those of you who are watching me, not in Kenya at the moment, if you're not in the Kenyan country, within the borders of Kenya, if you're not living in Kenya right now, you would know that we went to the ballot box. We went and cast our votes last Tuesday on the 9th. And for a whole damn week, guys, a whole 6 days, we've been waiting for the results to be counted. How is about digitization? How is that for digitization? How is that for leveraging technology? A whole damn week. Counting votes. Anyway, today I'm not even talking about counting votes. It's what actually cracks me up is the amount of patience. Let me tell you guys, for those of you who have heard me bragging about us Kenyans, I think if there is something that Kenyans have is resilient, because I'll tell you for free, if this was in another country and we were counting votes for a whole week, I'll tell you somebody somewhere would have been out of a job, or somewhere somehow. I don't know. Kenyans, your resilience I admire and mad respect, and I think that's what makes us very peculiar people, that even I myself can't believe that we've waited for a whole week for results. Secondly, I am also there's nothing to brag about us doing the manual, this year, we are globally. Trust you me, guys. I studied in Massachusetts, proudly in the best of the best schools, besides studying in my own very country in public schools in Kenya. And my first degree is, of course, from Kenyatta University, one of the best public universities here in Kenya. But my point is that globally, whenever I travel and wherever I've studied for those 10 years when I was out of the country, people brag about M-Pesa, the way we've been very innovative, the way we've innovated stuff like, digital mobile money. But I don't know why we should there's nothing to so proud. For me, by the way, I have nothing proud about the fact that this year we were not able to do the same way we've been able to do digital money, including M-Pesa, the same way we used those same brains to innovate digitization. Why can't we innovate? Why is it that elections have to be manual? Guys, in the 20th century, especially 22 years later, in this 20th century, 2022, we should be looking at ways, and this is a challenge including to myself. I should be part of the solution of figuring out how in the next election, we are not going to touch paper. Are we together, guys? We're not going to touch. I'm not going to be marking ballot boxes. I'll be going to like a monkey survey or some server that is safe. Of course, big disclaimer. We will be voting in a server that is safe, that we'll be voting online. And we will be the first, I hope that we can be the first country to actually vote online. Okay, in the world, I hope. If that hasn't been done already, I don't think so. Why is it that elections are so manually manipulated till today? Why is it that elections, Chebukati and company, can you please call us for after you, of course, today you cannot afford to delay anymore announcing these results. But what I'm asking is, as Kenyans, can we challenge ourselves to actually having to do digital elections in the near future, in the next election to be precise. Thirdly, the other point I want to bring to us, to our attention is that, and this one I'm very specific, Your Majesty, Mr. Chebukati, who happens to be the person who is in charge of the electoral process. IEBC in Kenya is the directorate that is in charge of fair elections and, of course, tallying of the votes and whatnot. What I'm trying to say, today being the 15th, we cast our votes on the 9th, and today is the 15th of August. So basically, those are 6 wasted business days, whatever, working days, call it. Those are 6 wasted days of tallying. And what I'm trying to, my message to you, Chebukati, and your crew, and all your, IEBC officials, and of course, including the government, I think today, for me, to be honest, if I was given a chance to talk to all of you all at once, right about now, at 3 o'clock, 3:34 Kenyan time, if I was given a chance to tell you straight to the point, and probably just talk to you on behalf of other Kenyans who might not have the guts to tell you the truth. For me, to be honest, guys, I am not, the last thought in my head, and the last thought I want to entertain in my head, is going back to the ballots. I'll tell you my personal story. Because I was away for all my adult life, and I left, I think, when I just gotten my ID. I left Kenya when I just gotten my ID. I had not gotten a chance to vote. And the one time I voted in Kenya, besides this year, the last 5 years when I voted in Kenya, it was my first time, and I was very excited to vote in Kenya as an adult. First of all, of course, it's what adults do, practicing their civic rights. And it's also part of being good citizens, responsible citizens. But guess what, guys? The last time and the very first time I voted, I will never forget that we voted, and then after some time, when of course there was a lot of drama, the Form 34B and whatnot, Chebukati and Cheloba, I forget his other name, Chelube, there was so many jokes about those two. But I remember a couple of days after we voted, we were forced. Guys, underline the word forced. We were literally forced to go back to the ballot box. And my point in this video today is that, trust me, Mr. Chebukati, and the government, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, and your prime minister Raila, and your deputy Ruto, who is also the running mate for presidential elections this year, we will not. Personally, I refuse. I am not going back to the ballot box. So today, whatever you do, you are actually supposed to have announced the results at 3 o'clock. I'm surprised you haven't, but at 4 o'clock, when you start announcing those news, let me tell you, my dear country people, we are not ready to go back to the ballot box. So whatever you do, man, choose the person who is, who won the elections fairly. And let me just break it down, and for the third time repeat that we are not willing to go back to the ballot box and vote again. Whether there was a tie or whatever it is, please go figure it out. That thing I want to talk about, and why I'm strongly against re-elections or going back to elections, is because you obviously know how much money, the financial services sector. Everyone, even a kindergarten baby, knows how much money, should I say wasted, or can I just be polite to say how much money is used in the election process. If today alone was a case study for counting losses and counting how many business people today closed. I was in Upper Hill today, and I saw from around 12 o'clock the few offices that were open, even the shops and the restaurants, the many offices that were still open today, they had a skeleton office, including mine. We had very few staff today because we were being precautious. Of course, the lives of people come first, and we are very conscious of, taking care of our own employees. But the point of the matter is, if we were to count losses, how many mama mbogas, how many SMEs today did not actually open their shops today? Is it fair that, I mean, are they getting a pay, like a paycheck from government? Are they getting a paycheck from this presidential election, presidential candidates? Are they getting any type of, allowance for staying at home? Are their kids gonna eat the papers that we used to vote? Are those, the point of the matter is there's so much wastage. There's always wastage when we, or even delay results announcements. There's so much wasted, and there's a lot of fear being sold, as you know. And this one, I'll be very categorical to the media houses. I think you've thrived. You've showed us how busy you can be. Busier than actually Chebukati. I think there was like a fashion show of which media industry or which TV media, company is bigger and mightier than the other for the last 6 days. We've seen it all. We've seen you guys, at the Bomas, and yes, we get it. We get it that we needed to know who is the best and who was announcing more accurately the results. But the point of the matter is, guys, there's a lot of wastage, and especially to the ordinary citizen, common mwananchi, who is living hand to mouth. First of all, I had lunch with a colleague that I haven't seen in a long time, and I was just telling them that, Kenyans, between worrying about lack of ugali unga, the flour for making ugali or pap, in other South Africa, I think we call it pap. Between Kenyans worrying about who is going to win the presidential election and them not having unga, flour, maize flour in the supermarket shelves, you can understand, and you can obviously understand, and I'm sure I represent the voice of the Wanjikos and the Otienos and the Wamalos on the ground. Honestly, Kenyans are sick and tired. And I think this is also a lesson to the electoral, IBC and the government at large, that especially us leaders, it's very important that we always remember leadership is not about us. Leadership is about the people you are serving. Leadership is about servant leadership. It's not about who is gonna, stay in power and be mightier than the other. It's not about you guys. And secondly, first of all, this one will be my closing remark as I wind up, because there's nothing so fancy to talk about today. The anxiety amongst people. There are people who have not, worked for the last 1 week, and they're not getting a pay cut or a pay allowance or a paycheck from the government. Government, also that our kids have been, at home. And my heart actually goes out to the parents who have kids in boarding schools, and especially in high school, who had their kids. The schools were obviously abruptly shut down by the Ministry of Education to facilitate voting, which was, I think, if you ask me, it was a good thing. But at the same time, if common sense, if we ask ourselves as leaders, we are not paying for the transport of these kids. I saw the other day there are kids who traveled all the way from Western Kenya, because their kids traveled all the way from Western Kenya, and that's not an allowance most of the parents had put into their budgets. Secondly, now with the extension of the school closures, obviously because of delayed election results announcement, it has so many repercussions. And these parents, mind you, it's not like they're making more money. Most of them have been sitting at home, buying fear, watching the TV. Some actually have not been sleeping because insomnia. Many people are anxious to know, will we have a leader? Who will be the president? And in Kenya, elections, voting process can be very emotional in Kenya, and I know it's the same in most African countries. But like my friend Vusi Viti was saying the other day, sadly, most of us in the African setting, we have we have glorified politicians. And actually, we end up we don't choose leaders. Remember, not all politicians, and I want to repeat and emphasize Vusi's message, not all our politicians that we are electing are leaders. So let's remember that at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it's not about us. Leadership is not about us. Leadership is not about us. And by the way, between Raila and Ruto, because we know obviously those are the top candidates who have won in the last election. I want to siege you guys, and I want to urge you, not even siege you guys, I want to urge you guys to really remember and consider that the common Mwananchi are looking up to you this time around. If you don't do anything else right, please consider leading, using servant leadership. Let the next 5 years that you'll be in power, whoever wins, whoever is announced in a few hours, in a few minutes, I hope, because it's almost 4 o'clock, whoever is announced the leader, please, we hope that to see a different type of a leadership that is, service above self. We hope to see leaders who have a heart. We hope to see leaders who will obviously drive a transformation agenda in Kenya. Kenya is actually, Africa is a place to be. Kenya is very well placed for, economic development. Kenya should be like the role model for, the Africa we want the Africa we all want to see. And yes, like I said at the beginning, I do not let this be the last time, guys. As a government, as a country, let's promise that this will be the last time we are voting manually and manually interfering with the election process. Until the next video, guys, I'm sure by the next video, obviously I'll be talking to you guys about the different investment classes backed by public demand. I'm sure by then we'll have a newly elected president, and I just can't wait. Until then, guys, sit back, relax. For the last 6 days, I know some of you have not even slept. Sit back, relax. We're coming to the tail end of this announcement, and Mr. Chebukati, like I said, we are not about to go back to the, we refuse. We refuse. None of us is willing. I personally, I will not go back to the, voting, ballot. I am not about wasting tax money dollars and tax money shillings. Is not something I want to be part of. So you saw the low voter turnout last week, and if that was not lesson enough, if you decide that we are going back to the ballot to waste more shillings, the hard-earned tax dollars that we common Mwananchi pay, we are not willing. I personally will not. I refuse to do it. We cannot. It's 21st century slavery. I will not be part of it. So please, tonight and in a few minutes, you better announce the winner, and we move on with our lives. Okay? And corruption, the newly elected president, I expect you, unlike our outgoing president, the buck lies with you. This corruption, corruption and the madness of bad leaders that we continue to glorify must end, and it must end now. It cannot be business as usual, guys. And to the newly elected senators and governors and MPs, some of you are larger than life. I could almost mention the names here. But I would hope that before you join, before you get into your office, I urge you to get a copy of my book. It's called Unleash the Leadership Giant in You. I talk about servant leadership there. I talk about, legacy-driven, purpose-driven leadership. I think it would be good that some of you, it would help you to tone the ego, the amount of ego that you have. Some of you, when you get to office, I don't know what demon or what ritual happens that you are so full of ego that even the people that elected you, you never get to serve none of them. You are so full of corruption. You're full of, majority of you, I can mention you by name. You become unreachable. You change phones. You no longer even visit the people you are campaigning and, visiting, like in the slums and all these other places that are highly marginalized. You no longer go there. So, we're not going to wait for you to come after 5 years. So you might as well change your leadership tactics and start serving the people who elected you, bringing economic progress, bringing economic new innovations, creating jobs, promoting job creation as opposed to this slavery of job, seeking, and especially with our youths and the marginalized. So, hey, guys, good luck. And in a few hours, I'm sure we'll know who is coming into office. I'm very excited. I love new things. I'm excited. I am obviously giving a new chance. Whoever is voted in whoever was elected, whoever wins. I am very open to it. I champion diversity and inclusion, and diversity and inclusion simply means that whoever is elected, whoever truly won, not rigging. I'm not about promoting rigging. You know me, guys, my integrity and my corporate governance. I speak about it a lot. Guys, whoever has won, truthfully won, not manipulated one. That is not something I would ever be part of. But whoever has won this election, I am willing, and I'm giving them a second chance to actually come out here and make a difference the same way. And that's the whole essence of being a leader. Leaders, the reason God chooses us, leaders are chosen by God, to be honest, if you ask me. And we have many examples in the Bible, for those of you who are believers, and in the Quran, and I'm sure in other religious, books. I believe leaders come from God, and whoever is chosen, diversity and inclusion simply means is that whoever has won this election truthfully, we can work with them, we can support them to work, and we can work and serve everyone, leaving no one behind. Yeah, after all, that's what SDGs are all about. So cheers, guys. Have a good one, and see you in a few hours. Yeah, we'll obviously know who our newly Kenyan elected president will be. I guess that's a big deal that we are all waiting for. Cheers, guys. Stay safe, please. Whatever you do, guys, it's never that serious. I will be posting a video. I took a video in Upper Hill. Yeah, and that's why I was very excited about Antonio Soul playing that song. Yeah, Uptown. It's something about Uptown and funk. And I took a video, and actually I'll post it shortly on my reel. And the message of that, the reason I took that video is that I wanted to remind you guys that if you do not own any of those buildings, big, tall skyscrapers building in Upper Hill, if your father does not own any of those assets, you have no business going to throw stones and talking about who won and who has not won and who what. Please get back to your business. If you do not own any of those buildings, none of your father, none of your children, none of your ancestors, please go back to and mind your business. Go back to your little cocoon, your business, your office, and continue minding your business, and give it your very best until you own such a building. Are we together? Cheers, guys. Bye. Have a good one and stay blessed. God bless. God bless Kenya. Kenya is for all of us. So Kenya is not about one person, one personality, one tribe. No. Kenya is for all of us. So we might as well contribute to its economic development so that history will judge us correctly. All right, guys. Cheers. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.